Eyewitness News is bringing you tomorrow's headlines today. And this morning, we're looking at the impact of soaring prescription drug prices. Here with me now is Freya Gulamali of the News Observer. Freya, welcome. Glad you're here.
Thanks for having me.
Now, in your reporting, you looked at local independent pharmacies closing, and this is happening as prescription drug costs are going up. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, so in North Carolina, more than 100 independent community pharmacies have been closing since 2022. And the reason for this is really one major thing, and that's that they're not getting reimbursed enough. So that's the reason that they're really closing down. So when you think about drug pricing, it's really complicated. There's so many different actors. There's insurance companies, there's patients, pharmacies, and this group called pharmacy benefit managers. And these pharmacy benefit managers, many people haven't heard of before, but they actually play a really large role in determining how much the pharmacy is going to be reimbursed for the drugs that they are giving out to patients. So the way that this pricing is set, a lot of independent pharmacies claim that this reimbursement is just simply not efficient or not sufficient, and that's one of the reasons that they are unable to stay afloat.
Now, Freya, you mentioned patients. How are patients being affected by all this?
Yeah, so patients are being affected in a couple of different ways. First of all, independent community pharmacies are really integral parts of their communities, so they know the people in their communities really well. They've developed relationships with them for several years. And so when it comes to different pharmacies not being able to dispense certain medications because they're unable to do so financially, or when pharmacies in their communities are just starting to shut down and they have to drive several miles in order to access the medications that they need, patients are being affected on many different levels. And this really is more than an access problem, it's actually an equity problem as well, as these closures create pharmacy deserts, particularly that happen in marginalized communities.
So patients are hoping for solutions. Is there anything the legislature, state lawmakers can do to help with a solution?
Yeah, so in the House there was a bill called House Bill 246, and that was passed unanimously, so it was a bipartisan bill. And that sought to bring fair reimbursement to pharmacies and increase different measures for providing transparency in drug pricing. So that bill, although it was passed in the House, is currently in the Senate, and it's currently being stalled in the Senate. And this kind of legislation has actually been passed in a few other states as well. And it's something that the FTC and Congress has been dealing with nationally as well. So this bill, a lot of people are thinking, some state legislators think that this bill may cause increases in the amount of the drug cost itself because of this fair reimbursement, but other independent pharmacies are really hoping that it will be heard in the floor of the Senate and hopefully passed on.
All right, so something for us to watch. That is Freya Gulamali of the News Observer. Thanks for sitting down with us again.
Thanks for having me.
And you can read more of her report right now on the NNO website or in Sunday's paper.